Hey, man.
It's Ron Goodall from FightHype.com. I'm here with Steven Espinoza. First and foremost, the Jake Paul, Anderson Silva card. Can we just talk a little bit about that?
Really entertaining press conference. Is one of the more interesting and entertaining press conferences. Unlike a lot of Jake Paul, the trash talk was sort of at a minimum, or at least it was sort of very respectful. Really interesting exchange with Logan, and I think we, as I said and Logan confirmed, there are those who said to Jake that he's crazy for taking this fight, and I think it was interesting that that Anderson confessed that certain people thought he was crazy for taking the fight as well. And I think, look, I have so much respect for what Dr. Mike is doing, having his career and dedicating what he has to sort of what he's done during the pandemic and everything else. But getting in here and fighting like an established MMA guy, Le'Veon Bell, putting it on the line, there's a lot at stake for every one of these fighters. I think each of these is intriguing in its own way, and I'm not sure that you can really predict when any fight has happened. I wouldn't be surprised with any result on any fight in the card.
All right, so I'm gonna kill the bandage. I'm sure everyone's gonna ask you about the Spence and Crawford situation. Just what's your thoughts on the whole thing?
It was a surprise. It'd be completely. It was. I think it's fair to say that our side felt blindsided by the whole thing. I know it took a long time and it was taking a long time, but I thought we were making progress, and certainly we didn't expect that have the rug pulled out from under us. But the reality is, look, there are a lot of interesting fights, for Spence. I know the one thing we know about Errol is, and he's said it repeatedly and he's backed it up, he doesn't do tune-up fights. So whatever he does, and it's still a very open question, it's going to be a top-tier fight. It's going to be a massive fight. Maybe it's 47, maybe it's 54. But the reality is, the reason I don't have specifics for you is because there was no backup plan. Because there was no point where Errol was interested in having even a conversation, a what-if conversation, about what would happen if this thing falls apart. It wasn't on his radar. There's certainly very interesting fights out there. You have Keith Thurman, you have Boots Ennis, you have Stanionis, you have others. No interest in talking about anything other than Crawford. So we're going to regroup and get him in there. He doesn't want to be stagnant for very much longer. And I think he'll get moving. And look, I'm still hopeful that we can put the Crawford fight back together.